Hey everybody, I'm PJ from Princess Craft RV. Today we're going to look at the 2024 Cirrus 920. Now, this is redesigned. You may be familiar with it in the past, but it has just come out in 2024. All new, all electric, no options, fully outfitted to be off-grid. It's got amazing features like 810 amp hours of lithium batteries. That's huge. 930 watts of solar on the roof, all standard. 2 electric awnings. I mean, it does have propane backup, so don't let that scare you. It has a custom bumper that can store a 3,200 watt generator. I mean, it is ready to go anywhere you want to go. There is a lot to look at in here, so we're going to go inside. But before we do, let's cover some basics. This camper weighs 4,361. I mean, that is the published weight. And if you're wondering what won't run in this camper off that battery bank, the answer is nothing. It runs the entire camper, even the air conditioner. Now, what that means is that you can't run everything on this camper at one time, but that's not how most people use a camper, let's face it. It should keep you going off-grid for a day, 2 days, 3 days, depending on how you're running. You know, with a little careful planning, it could keep you going indefinitely. But there are backups with the propane and with the 50 amp cord. So keep that in mind. And if you have questions on that piece of it, that's what we're here for here at Princess Craft RV. So give us a call. All right, let's get into the fun part and take a look inside because it's gorgeous. Let's go. Walking in, it feels really open in here, and I think one of the reasons is this lighter colored wood. It is a little different than the other Cirruses, and it just makes it feel really nice and comfortable in here. Of course, everything at nuCamp is going to be CNC cut. The fit and finish is just beautiful. I love the clean panels on all of the cabinetry. Everything is soft close. Let's get into the details. 6'6" tall. Now you are going to lose an inch or so because they have a drop down panel right here in the ceiling. It really gives a beautiful effect. It has the lighting inset in it. So 6'6" on the main roof, maybe 6'5" next to that. Of course I'm only 5 foot tall, but it doesn't feel like a low ceiling to me, so hopefully it won't to you either. I'm going to start right here on this storage. You've got a large cabinet when you walk in right here to the left. And of course, with these buttons, they want them to be flush, so you've got more walking room here. It's not going to catch on anything, and it's a really nice look. So just punch the button, and it creates the knob. Nice open feel. Now, throughout this camper, you will see these lights. You can set these lights one of two ways. You can set them so they just go on and off when you hit the switch, or they can be on motion detection. I love that because you open the cabinet door, the light comes on, you don't have to mess with it. This is a really large open cabinet. This entire cabinetry goes all the way to the back of this countertop. There's nothing in the back except for in one corner. There is the fluids for the Aldi. And that is where you can look in the little window and see if your Aldi system needs a little more fluid in it. We'll talk about that in just a bit. That is your heating system and your hot water system. It is a cousin to Truma. Very efficient and a really nice way to have hot water and heat in this camper. You do have a bar here and a shelf on top, so that's great for hanging clothes, but you guys already know if you want different storage in here, you just build it right in, whatever you need. All right, let's move down because you've got a really nice drawer here. Again, it goes all the way to the wall. There's nothing cut short here, and it's about, I don't know, 6-7 inches deep. So a lot of space in here. It does have this nuCamp packet in here that comes with all the goodies with nuCamp. Another thing I'd like to point out is this is your propane tank levels. This is normally an aftermarket product, but they include it in their campers, and it is a way to put a sticker on your propane tank and you can see what level it's at. hook it to your phone. Really nice system. So much in here that's going to work with your camper. We'll talk about a lot of it as we go through. Now down below, of course, the light switches for everything. Right here on the left is going to be the switch for your electric jacks on the outside. We'll talk about that when we get outside, how that works and how easy it is to load a truck camper if you're not familiar with it. You do have a pantry here. I mean, seriously, guys, that's wonderful. And then this kitchen. I am so impressed with kitchen storage. You don't even have to count all of that we just looked at, because you have 3 really nice cabinets up here. This one has a double shelf on it. Middle one is going to have a double shelf, and this one, surprise, is going to be the microwave. Again, remember, there is no options here, so every camper is going to come with a microwave. You do have a little space on both sides, but you don't want to stuff it full of things because that's the venting for your microwave. All right, let's put these down. And we're going to look at the kitchen. There is a white honeycomb backsplash here. It isn't tile, but it sure feels like it, and it just gives it a nice modern feel. Same window as you see in the 820. It is the dual pane acrylic windows. I'll show you how those work when we get to the dinette. And over here, there's the panel that'll show you your battery power. It will also show you your tank levels. This camper has 45-gallon fresh, 35-gallon gray, and 25-gallon black. That's awesome. Down below, the controls for your Alde system. That is going to be your heat and your hot water. It's very simple to use. You can check our tech channel on YouTube, and you will get a good description of how that works if you've got some confusion there. And down below, 2 USBs, the 12-volt plug, and a 110 plug right below. One of the pet peeves I have is when they cover an entire wall with controls and things. Some people think that's great. I love it when it's concise, it's small, it's out of the way. That is a great design for having everything you need, and it's not like decorating your camper, you know? There's a really nice LED strip right here under the cabinet. I love lighting up the countertop when I work. That just makes it easier. Those switches are right here. So this is the light on this side. There's one right next to it. That is the LED light underneath the storage on the other side. Now, another thing about lighting, because I think that's super important when I'm camping, it's the way campers are designed. Some of them really don't give you a lot of options. But right here, you have the on-off for this lighting that is right here in the ceiling panel. Down below, you've got a plus and a minus switch. Now, it's a little slow, but it dims down so low and then can come up really bright when you're ready. So I love that feature because sometimes you just need a little bit of light to move around, but you don't need everything glaring in your face. So you've got a lot of nice choices right here. Let's take a look at this countertop. Now, this is only about 18 inches of space that is not used by something else. But what they give you is this nice custom-made sink cover, if you will. It is a cutting board if you want to use it for that, but I just love the wood look. Lifts right off, and you've got a really nice farmhouse sink. This sink is about 12 inches deep. It is the deepest sink I think I've ever seen in a trailer or a camper. So that's really impressive. Pull down sprayer right here with a single faucet. I mean, you can put all kinds of giant pots in there. Single handle. And let's put this right back. Makes for really nice counter space all the way across. Next to that is the induction cooktop. This is by Furrion, and it's in the same vein as the oven down here. They're both Furrion. And if you've not used an induction oven, induction stove, I really am impressed with what these can do. It really is the wave of the future. Now you're going to have the correct pans to work on it. The good news is it really works well with cast iron. So if you like cast iron cooking, like a lot of us do when we're camping, works great on this. And it heats up so quick. You just don't have to wait for it. You turn it on, it heats up, and it uses a fraction of the power of anything else. It allows you to go all electric, which is what they're going for in this camper. Down below, you do have this nice oven. Let's take a peek. That's not a small oven for a camper. And then next to it, a little more storage right here. Take a look at that. Very open. There is a little piping in the back, but not much that you have to work around. So you've really got a nice space under here. Next to that, drawers. I love drawers. They are the most efficient use of space. The top drawer is only about 2 inches deep. Of course, perfect for silverware. Down below, you've got a larger drawer. In fact, both of these are larger drawers, but they don't go all the way back. So it is only that deep, that long, I guess it is, and it is about 4 or 5 inches deep. You've got the same thing underneath, right here. Another short drawer, but very deep. So useful, right? If you put together all of this different areas in here in this kitchen, that's a lot of kitchen space. They do have this Furrion hood vent here with, of course, the lights and the fan. I love the fact that it's really minimalistic. You hardly see it. It isn't one of the big ones that comes over. It fits very flush against the top. Just a very nice system here. You know, the refrigerator is past that, but because of the camera angle, we're going to talk about the bathroom next before we move through the camper. So let's back up a little bit and take a look. Really nice handle to start with. I know it's a small thing, but that's how you can tell quality has gone into this camper. You don't have this chicky little latch. So let's step in, and I'll have to say, if you're working with a truck camper or a smaller trailer, designing a bathroom is tricky. Trying to fit everything in, make it quality, and make it usable. So you're right, there's no dancing room in here. I'm never going to mince words on that, but there's quality in here. Let's start with the porcelain toilet. It is a little bit tight, so I don't usually sit down, but I'm going to because I want you to see how this feels. So in here, there is not a lot of extra room on the sides, but you know, with a little bit of a turn, you've got some space here. Nice toilet paper holder out of the way because you do have a little bit of space here when the door opens, so you're not going to be running into it. And next to this here, you've got a vessel sink that fits right into the corner with a little bit of countertop space around it for setting down soap, setting down maybe, you know, your makeup or whatever you're working with here. It's not huge, but I think it will work for most people. I love that they put a nice oval mirror here, kind of in an odd space, but I don't know, it works for me. Now down underneath this sink, you've got some storage here, opening up that cabinet. It is a little bit of corner space there, and it has a top and a bottom, so you've got 2 different levels, and a hanging bar right next to it at the top here for a towel. It's well designed, it's got everything you need in a very small space. Up above, you've got some more storage, and that is a medicine cabinet. You've got 3 different levels in there. It's out of the way, but very accessible. Up top, you may be familiar with these small round vents. You've got 2 different vents in here, so let's start right here. You've got this round one with the light. You've got a fan on it, so just push it open, pull it shut, and you can turn on the fan with the switch and the light on the other side. Works great. Into the shower, they've got this rolling shower door, so you don't have anything that's going to stick to you. Nothing's going to move around, and it's going to seal perfectly. It's a little more expensive to build, but it's much better to use. So stepping into the shower, you'll notice you get a little less height. So the height in there is going to be just a little over 6 feet. There is a vent right in the standing room that's going to bring it back up to about 6'5". But that means you have to use the vent for headroom, so keep that in mind. Now let's take a look at this vent because it's not your normal bathroom vent. This is more like a hikey escape vent that you might find in a bedroom, only smaller. So you can push the button, open it up, and get full air coming in and out. You've also got a blackout shade or a screen. So a little different than what you're used to. It also has a built-in light that you can turn on or off. It's brilliant because you can get full open air here. I don't know, kind of like taking a shower with a little bit of sunlight and breeze coming in. It sounds kind of nice to me. This is a pretty roomy shower. I don't have the exact dimensions, but it's not really tight. Again, the roller door is a plus because nothing's going to be coming in on you. You don't have to worry about that. It makes a good solid seal here. It is a one-piece wrap on the sides, a nice handheld and single handle. Now this wraparound has the built-in 3 shelves here. So I don't know, I'm pretty impressed with how they make this work. The last thing is they put towel hooks on the back wall for you. You've got to have those in a bathroom, right? Because you got to hang up those wet towels. That is just kind of one more little thing that makes this bathroom small, but very usable. All right, let's move on because there's a lot more to see. Now it's time to look at the living space here. You know, it is a truck camper. It's not huge, but this is a nice dinette. The dinette in the 920 has been redesigned from the other campers, so it's a little bit different. The seating is deeper here, so it's comfortable for me, but someone larger than me is also going to be comfortable. They redesigned the back just a little bit. I am really impressed with this. They also made it a little wider, so when you turn it into a bed, a little more comfortable there too. It is 37 inches wide and 69 inches long. So, you know, not quite a full 6 foot, but for some people, like little old 5 foot me, it'd be just fine. The table is different because it has the rail on the side. You simply fold up the leg and drop it down to make the bed. Very simple to do. The back cushion is connected to the base, so just slide them in and you've got great sleeping. Very simple. Now let's talk about what's behind me. There is kind of a big panel here. They've separated the bedroom a little bit from this living area, which is different than a lot of truck campers. They try to make it open so it feels bigger. I kind of like the coziness in the bed area and the separation with the dinette. Over my shoulder, you may have noticed we have a panel right here, and that is going to be the battery monitor. A lot of the equipment in this is Victron, and this is going to show you what's happening with that battery power. Because if you are off the grid and you're running purely electric, that's super important. Now, I'm not going to take too much detail here, but you can check our videos to see if we have any more in-depth stuff on this. We will be doing that because you've got a menu down here at the bottom. So you've got all kinds of things that you can set on it. You can see how much power you have left. You can see how much it's charging. You can see how many hours you have left. You can really see the entire system. Now, the speaker right up here, you do have one here, one in the kitchen, and some outside. Just like to point that out because they don't use the cheap systems that you'll see in a lot of campers. They've really got some nice tunes you can play in here. All right, a little storage up here and that LED light that I mentioned earlier underneath. Now, only this one directly above me is going to dim, but this is really nice if you're working on this table. And I always like to kind of test it for sturdiness, and this one would hold up to any kind of kids, any kind of computer work that you want to do. Very sturdy and easy to use. There are 2 USBs right here and then 2 standard household plugs underneath. Let's talk about the window because that to me is what makes this space really awesome. I don't know how to describe it. Windows are what's so important in a camper like this. All of these windows are going to be dual pane acrylic, so they're going to be very good at keeping the weather out and keeping it nice and cool or nice and toasty in here, depending on what the weather is. Let me just review this real quickly if you're not familiar. Just push that red button, open these up. I'm going to do that on the other side because I didn't prep for this shoot. And You can push it out as far as you would like, tighten on both sides, and it stays open. If it's raining outside, it's just wonderful because it keeps the rain out, but I get plenty of airflow. And on a rainy, muggy day, that's huge. Coming down from the top, you've got a screen. From the bottom, you've got the blackout, and my favorite, the combination where I've got a little privacy and a little airflow. So most of the time, I'm going to be enjoying the outdoors. This is the same window that's in the kitchen and in the bed area, so you can really open this up. When you open all the windows like this, it feels like maybe you're outside or on a patio or something. Such a nice feel. Okay, let's keep going. The next question you're going to have is storage underneath the seating, and that is one thing I think nuCamp did brilliantly. Let me show that to you. Now right under here, let's start on this side. You open this up, it looks like great storage in there, and it does go all the way down. But there is a little handle there that you can lift up the base, and underneath that is going to be your Aldi system. Now, it might be hard to stick your head in this cabinet and work on that Aldi system or take a look at it if you need to, and that is why underneath here you've got a nice, very clean cut panel that's going to lift right off so that you can have access from the top. It's just brilliant. You get storage, you get gear, very accessible. I don't know. I don't know why everybody doesn't do that. Maybe because it takes just a little more craftsmanship. On this other side, they have done exactly the same thing. You open this door and you have all the storage going all the way through, all the way to the end. You can see the little handle there. Just lift that up and all of your Victron components, including your inverter, is going to be underneath. So everything's accessible, but it doesn't take up all your storage space. They've made it do both. It's brilliant. All right, let's talk about a few more pieces that are right underneath me here. You do have one more 110 plug right here on the end. I'm not quite sure why you need that plug there, but might be perfect for someone. You just never know. Maybe it's something I haven't thought of yet. Right next to it is your LP carbon monoxide detector, of course, down by the floor because of course, propane is heavier than air. It's going to drop down. So you want to be sure you're safe. And over here, let's take a look. At the bottom on the right is the battery disconnect. You only want to use that when you're putting your camper in storage. These batteries can't charge if you disconnect them. So I don't know. They're meant to stay topped off. Just above that, there's a switch for the battery heaters. Lithium batteries kind of have a bad rap because when it gets below freezing, they don't charge. You can still use them, no problem. But once you've used up your battery power, it's difficult for them to charge if it's below freezing. So guess what? You just have a switch and you have battery heaters. They're going to do everything you need them to do. To the left of that is going to be the converter. Different than the inverter, this converter is what is going to take the shore power and convert it into 12 volt. It's also going to contain breakers and fuses in the front of it. So it's a vital part of every camper. And you do have a window right here. We get lots of questions on windows. Is it going to line up? Can I crawl through? And the answer is modern campers really don't work that way. But you can open it up. You can get a little airflow through there. That's always nice. And you sometimes can see into the camper when you're in your truck. Let's take a look at the refrigerator right behind me. This is the isotherm. It is an 8 cubic foot refrigerator. It is 12 volt. Woo, it's cold. And you've got nice freezer space and refrigerator space. At 8 cubic foot, I don't know, super nice. It is strictly 12 volt, but these are different than maybe the traditional ones you've seen in the past. And it's going to get cold really fast. It's going to stay cold. And it's not going to use much of that battery power, so don't worry about that. Isotherm is very popular in the watercraft industry, where they use a lot of 12 volt. This is a tried and true company. Again, they've done a great job in picking quality products to put in this camper. Now we're going to crawl up there and take a look at the sleeping area. The first thing I notice up here is, as I mentioned before, the wall right here that kind of separates it. A little unusual, but they also have this heavy curtain. Now this is heavy fabric. It isn't that cheap little thin thing, so it's going to stay in place, not going to wear out. Pull it across for privacy if you want. The next thing I notice, 32-inch television. I love it if I'm sleeping. I'm going to show you something that is really the only thing in this camper I found that's maybe, Okay, so I tried pulling it out and swinging it around so you could watch it from the dinette. Guys, it's tough to do. I found two configurations that were kind of close. And you can either pull it behind this space right here or just in front. But I had a lot of trouble spinning it all the way around. The TV is really large for the space, so that's good and bad. If you're going to watch this TV and that is a big part of your camping experience, I don't know, you might want to learn to relax on this side of the camper. I think it'd be easier. Everything else in here is really above and beyond. Let me show you some of the storage. On the passenger side, they have the tall wardrobe. This, they did a spectacular job with. It has the motion sensor light in the top. Love that, right? And it has the bar at the top if you need hanging clothes. You know how I always say, if shelves work better for you, just put something in here that makes sense? Well, they provide the shelves. So it is already set. You could have shelves, hanging clothes. All of it is prepackaged right here. It is a do-it-yourself with everything provided. Brilliant, right? I love that. So right next to that is this hamper space, and it's deeper than what you might find in the 820 as far as the width of it here. And lifting it up, it is about 6 inches down and tons of great space here. It's like having a drawer on both sides of the bed. You have this on both sides. Now you only have this hanging cabinet over here on the passenger side, but I love this space right here. It is like having two giant drawers. And up above, you have a little bitty cubby here. Now this one's hard to open. Oh, because they use these little pressure hinges at the top to hold it open. But this guy's tiny, doesn't weigh anything. This is all the way back, so it's probably 18 inches deep. Not very tall, but probably a foot wide. So kind of interesting. I'm thinking maybe I store my laptop and some maybe electronics up there. It's kind of an odd space, but you want to use every inch, right? Ooh, and that cabinet, thank goodness for the soft closer, that would be slamming. Next to that is open completely, so I love that. It is a reaching cabinet. Of course, it goes back to the back. You know, I mentioned speakers in the front. They have speakers back here in the bed area too, on both sides. I don't know, I love the tunes. The stereo's on the other side. I'll show you that in a minute. Big window right here. One thing, if you're off the grid, you definitely love a cross breeze. Maybe you don't want to run the AC. So open these up, just like we did the one in the dinette, and you've got great cross breeze here. And you notice the big one in the front. We'll take a look at that too, because it opens just like the rest. All right, back behind me, there's a little more storage to look at on this side. So let me just scoot back. Did I mention this is a queen bed? This is a true queen. Really nice foam mattress, and underneath is the Froli or Froli system, as some people say. I'll show you that on my way out. Open this up, and you've got two shelves right there. Everybody loves having their own personal space next to their bed, right? So you've got that on both sides. The nice nightlight here. We get a lot of comments on the blue lights, but some people like it. So if you prefer the blue light, something not as glaring, you've got that. Touch it again, and of course, hold it down. You've got the solid white light. Shelf right up here, and this shelf all the way across has a little panel you can take out. If you look back inside, there is wiring in here, but there is a little bit of space. So maybe that's a good storage space for you. If nothing else, it's easy access if you need to get to it. A little tricky to put that panel back in. And in the middle, there is the 12-volt plug-in, 2 USBs, and a 110 plug right here in the center. There isn't one on both sides. You're sharing right here in the center of this shelf, all the way across. This big window right here, that's the Stargazer styled window. Again, it is the dual pane acrylic. You can lay in bed, see the stars. You can even open it up and get that nice breeze. And it has the same thing. It has the screen at the top and privacy panel at the bottom. Because you know what? I might want to sleep later than sunup. So just pull this privacy panel, pitch black in here until you're ready to wake up. All right, the other side is very similar, except it doesn't have that large wardrobe. So let's go over there and take a look at a few other things. And now I'm on the driver's side, back at the back of the bed, and this is where the 32-inch 110 television is. Really nice, especially if you're watching from the bed area. And instead of that big wardrobe, they have a flatter cabinet here. You just lift up this top, it is attached. This is about 12 inches deep, so it's kind of a deep bin here. I don't know. You could fill that with t-shirts, just take one off the top. You're ready to go for the day. The panels at the top, instead of just one, of course you have two of them here. And they are the same as the other side. A little difficult to open because that's really strong hinges and really little bitty doors. But once you're in there, you've got that space all the way to the side wall of the camper. Let's close that up. Soft close is fabulous. So right underneath the television is the Fusion stereo. And I really like this system because it really produces nice sound. It also is going to be everything you need in a very compact, easy to use space. You know, you get too many buttons going, it gets really crazy, hard to use. This has the Bluetooth and the stereo built into it. You know, that's really all people use out on the road. Right underneath there, ready for you. You do have a light switch just underneath the TV right here too. Nope, there's not one at the head of the bed, but I think I might get used to just hitting it with my toe when I go to sleep. That'd be perfect for me. Anyway, before we get out of this area, I want to show you the Froli system underneath this mattress, because that's what really keeps all the condensation from gathering underneath and makes this mattress super comfortable. This Froli system is just under the mattress, and you can see its little squares that absorb the pressure, kind of like a spring mattress, only it keeps the mattress from sitting directly on the bottom of the camper. That is where all the condensation, the heat and the cold comes through. You need that air barrier, and this is perfect, and it makes it so comfortable. No deterioration under there, just a great fit. And that covers underneath the entire mattress. So check that out if you're looking at the Cirrus 920 at your dealership. Y'all stick with me because we're going outside to take a look at all the cool stuff on the outside of the Cirrus 920. Almost all the nuCamp products are going to have this Euro door, and it's really unique. You have storage pockets, two at the top. Most people call this a trash can, but honestly, you can do whatever you want. And I don't know, lots of ways to use this little storage bin. You've got a nice solid place for that fire extinguisher that's important when you're camping. The window gives you a view outside, but it also gives you a blackout shade for when you want privacy. The other thing that's very cool about this Euro door is that it has a built-in screen. You remember how you can open all the windows, put the screens up, and get a nice breeze? Well, you can do that with the door as well. The screen just pulls across right here. Really nice. You don't have anything to clip together here, separate, deal with all of that. Just slide it open when you need it, put it away when you don't. Great feature. Now, stepping outside, I think the best place to start here is with this amazing bumper. This is a custom bumper, and it's made specifically for nuCamp. This bin is designed to hold a 3200 Honda generator. So if you don't carry a portable generator with you, you've got space for all kinds of gear, electric cords, sewer hoses, just whatever you need can fit right in here. You've got one on each side. You've got a nice platform here. I love the glossy black diamond plate. It's heavy, it's durable, nothing flimsy. I know that sounds weird. Most people think if it's diamond plate, it's really sturdy, but there is a lot of thicknesses. They could make this a lot lighter, but it needs to be durable to hold up to you stepping in and out and putting that gear in and out of it for years to come. So right over here, you do have the torque lift glow step. Just unpin it right here. This step swivels down, open up the storage underneath, and look at that beautiful tray. I don't know, that's probably an odd thing to say, but that underneath storage is so helpful. This camper was raised 4 inches so it would fit perfectly in all of the trucks, GMC, Chevy, and Ford. You're going to want a 1-ton long bed, just like we said, but we wanted it to be high enough you're not going to have any fit issues, and you get great storage under here. There's a few things on the back of this camper that you may not be familiar with. One is the backup camera right up there underneath the porch light. It looks a little different than maybe some that you've seen in the past, but again, standard on this Cirrus 920. The Fiamma handle, you probably are familiar with. It is a locking handle, very different. It's super sturdy. Just unlatch this, fold it over, and you latch this handle closed here. I don't have the key, I'd show you directly, but folding it in, locking it closed, it makes it very difficult for people to get into your camper. The ladder on the back of the Cirrus 920 looks a little different than what you may have seen on a standard trailer or truck camper. It's really solid, it's not going to sag or bend over time. And going up to the roof, I want to talk about the material up there because it is a full walk-on roof. The roof is made of Transcore, and that is a composite that they say is sledgehammer proof. So extremely durable, not going to have any problem walking on it. It's actually what nuCamp uses in the floor of their teardrops. Now that is going to be kind of tricky, maybe a little misleading. Why? Because there's 930 watts of solar up there. There is not a lot of walking room. There is stanchions and crossbars up there for adding any gear, tying it down, or putting any extra bike carriers or luggage carriers up there. If you want to do that, you are going to block some of those solar panels. So if you're not going to use them, you do have the option of taking those crossbars off and storing them, and I'm going to show you where they go in just a minute. The stanchions will stay up there, but the crossbars can be taken off if you need that. So full walk-on roof, really solid up there. You're not going to have any water or any leak issues or sagging issues. Now, you do have an awning up there on the rear. That is standard. Everything is standard. I'll say that a few more times. I think it's so important to know that this comes loaded. Let's come around to this side and talk about the storage on this side. So first of all, right here at the end of this bumper, in this little box right here, you can open it up. It's teeny tiny, but it's perfect for storing those crossbars on the roof if you wanted to take them with you in case you need them in the future. Right up here is a storage compartment with a motion sensor light. Great space here. You don't need this for a generator. Remember, that's going to fit right here if you want to carry it. If not, again, a second area for storage. Down below, I really like the way they put this city water connection, sewer connection, black tank flush. It's kind of an everything in this compartment, seriously. So let's open this up, and you can see the Nautilus panel right there. You'll find that in all of the nuCamp products, and up at the top you will see those colored handles. And if you can see just above that, there's a lot of pictures telling you which way to put all the handles, depending on what you want to do. If you want to winterize, if you want to use city water, if you want to pump from the tank, if you want to fill the tank, whatever you want to do, take a look at the pictures and it'll tell you how to set those handles. It's really super simple. Now over on the right, you will see a black tank flush, and on the left, the city water fill. Black and white respectively, very easy not to confuse those two. And over here on the right, you will see water pump switches And down below, low point drains. If you need to drain the water out of all these tanks, there's your drains right there. Again, let me remind you that this has a 45-gallon freshwater tank, 35 gray, 25 black. For a truck camper this size, that's amazing. Should be plenty, even if you want to go off-grid for a period of time. Black tank pull right here and gray right there. Now to hook up your hose, there is an opening right underneath. Of course, once this is up on your truck, it's very easy to feed that water hose underneath, have it come in here, hook it up to the correct city water fill, and close the cabinet door and you're done. Really nice. They do have these baggage door locks, so when you close it, it latches itself. Kind of nice. I don't know, it's a little thing, but I really appreciate the ease of use there. Let's keep going because there's more to look at over here. That cabinet's a little sticky. Right here we've got a 20-pound propane tank. Now, do you need this? No, but it might be a nice thing to have just in case. So there is a gas outlet underneath if you want to hook up a grill. And let's find that. It's going to be right under here. It looks like it's hard to get to, but when this is up on your truck, it's much easier. You will have some overhang here, so don't let that fool you. You're not going to be reaching in blindly into the bed of your truck. So down here we've got a little bit of gear. You've got the coiled spray hose. Now that hooks up right in here next to your Nautilus panel. If you want an outside sprayer, great for cleaning a grill, great for rinsing off at the beach, whatever you need right there. And this is your shore power cord. It's 50 amp, it's a little different than you may have seen in the past, so I wanted to show it to you. It is what they call a smart plug. So you just remove the cover here, and of course these little clamps hold the cover on as well, and fit that right into the plug, and that clamps it right into place. Got to push it in all the way. There you go. You see it clamped in. You don't have to spin things on to keep it tight. It's just a really nice high-end fit. Why the 50 amp plug? Well, because you want to charge these batteries as quickly as possible if you're at shore power. So you have 50 amp, it's going to take care of this camper really quickly. All right, let me set this down and let's keep going. Right up here in front is where they keep the batteries. So under here is that bank of lithium that we talked about. Very available. You can always check them. Everything is right in here in this section. Now, if you're familiar with lithium, you know there isn't a lot of checking that needs to be done. They should simply do their job. You don't have to check the water. They are a no maintenance battery. So having this up front really isn't a problem. Having 810 amp hours of lithium batteries, spectacular. Let's keep going. Coming around on this side, not as much to talk about. You have the Aldi system. This is the vent for it. That is going to be, of course, your hot water and your radiant heat, and 110 plugs in case you want to plug something in out here, maybe party lights, who knows? I mean, you may think of something. You've noticed there is a plug down here. This plug is set up to go directly into the plug that's in the back of your truck camper. Not all campers are like that. Sometimes you have to pre-wire into the side of your bed. The Cirrus makes it super easy. You can use the plug that's on the back. Most of you are going to have that, particularly on a 1-ton truck. There is another compartment under here, and this one is going to have storage underneath, and up at the top, it's kind of hard for me to see, but you've got two controls there for awnings. They are one-touch awnings, so all you have to do is punch the button. You don't have to stand there and hold it. Then there's a button right next to it to turn on the light. Super easy, really nice to have awnings not only on the back, but on the side as well. On the end there, right next to that controls, is going to be the portable solar plug. Now, why you'd want to use portable solar if you have 930 watts of solar on the roof, I don't know. But maybe that's covered up. Maybe you're parked in the shade. So you plug in your portable, put that out in the sun, and you're good to go. So that plug-in is right inside this compartment. There's a few more things I want to talk about with this camper. One of them is the graphics. I really would like to know what you think about these graphics. They're similar to what I've seen on the other Cirruses, but they've added a few extra pieces, kind of the carbon fiber reference right here on the end. I think they look really nice. What do you think? Let's also talk about the jacks back here. Rico Titan jacks, they're gonna raise and lower this camper really easy. But if you're not familiar with truck campers, the quick and dirty on how this works is that you punch the button just inside the door to activate them, and then you have a control that's gonna raise and lower the jacks, either all of them at once or one at a time. Now, it takes me 10 to 15 minutes to load a truck camper. Most of the time, I'm sitting here holding the button. I'm not gonna lie, it does take some getting used to on backing under it straight and getting in the right position. But once you've done it a few times, most people are able to do it really quickly. You drop it down, hook it on with turnbuckles, and you're ready to fly. If you need more information on that, again, just call us here at Princess Craft RV. We'll be glad to help you. Now, I love this Cirrus 920. I think it has got lots of great gear on it. Everything is standard. It's quality, it's lightweight. If you're still watching this video, you're probably wondering about cost. I don't normally bring that up, and the reason is because it can always change. But I think it's super important for you to know this truck camper is gonna be probably in the range of $80,000. With all this gear on it, I hope you can see the value like I can. I'm PJ with Princess Craft RV, and I am thrilled to show off the Cirrus 920 with you. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.